I'm Angelo Firenze, and I'd like to welcome you to this premiere edition of the Belmont Business Report. One of the things I hear as I go around town is the desire by most of our residents for more vibrant business centers. And we thought with the help of the Belmont Media Center, we could use this as an opportunity to go around, visit some of the businesses, find out a little bit more about them, and maybe attract you to stop in and patronize them. We're going to start here at Frankies Catch of the Day here on Leonard Street in Belmont, a longtime business center. And pretty anxious to see what we find inside. Why don't you come on in and let's take a look.
Good morning, and welcome to Frankies Catch of the Day.
Hey Frankie, how you doing? It's
Good,
great to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you for participating with us in this inaugural edition of the Belmont Business Report.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
We've known each other for a long time. As I was thinking about this, I guess we go back about 40 years. What can you tell me? How did you get involved?
Yes, we do.
How'd you get started in the fish business?
Well, when I was a little boy, I would say I was about 11 or 12 years old. I used to deliver papers to Mr. Meister. Mr. Meister was the original owner of this fish market. It was called Meister's Seafood. He started around 1952. So we're talking about around the mid 60s. I used to deliver papers to him, and my brothers got a job part-time working for him while they were in school. So I wanted to be a big boy like my brothers, and I would beg him every day when I delivered the paper. I'd say, could I please have a job? Please, Mr. Meister, please. So one day he finally said to me, when you can see over this counter, then I'll give you a job. So eventually I turned 14, and I went up and got my work papers, and I came back and I said, see, I have my work papers, you have to hire me now. So the rest is history.
What do your customers look for when they step in the store?
Well, they know that I've been in the business a long time. So what they look for, first of all, is, that the fish looks good and that they don't smell fish in the store. It's important to know that fresh fish does not have an odor. The older the fish gets, then you have an odor from it. People always comment on when they come into my store, they say, gee, it smells really good, doesn't smell like fish. So that's part of it. And then when they buy the fish, they know it tastes good, and they know it's fresh, and they come back.
That's true? Yes,
the fish and chips, I'm really famous for that, and the fish cakes. I do about 1,500 to 2,000 fish cakes a week, and then, a lot of the cooked fish. People buy this off the counter and take it home and heat it up at a later time. It's very convenient for them. But they can also order off our menu. We have a full menu of fried and broiled fish. I have 3 types of salmon, which is very interesting. I have a farm-raised Atlantic salmon from Newfoundland. Then I have the wild Alaskan king salmon. And I also have organically farm-raised salmon from Vancouver. They're all very, very nice, but people have their different tastes. And because salmon has become the in thing and the rage, I like to give them much more of a choice. It's shown that salmon is rich in omega-3 oils and does lower your cholesterol. So it's become a very, very popular item. The unique thing about my salmon is I cut it fresh. There's no processor involved. There are no chemicals added to my salmon. I cut it fresh right here, and then I use my trusty tweezers to take out the bones, because most people don't like bones in their salmon, except for the salmon steaks. And then I have fresh halibut, haddock, which is very popular, bluefish, which is in season right now, swordfish, which are really running very, very well right now. We're having a good season on swordfish. Swordfish comes from Canada, mostly harpooned, very, very flavorful this time of year. So now's the time to buy swordfish.
Tell me, Frank, you've been in business for quite some time. You've obviously been successful. What do you like about being in business for yourself?
Well, I love the independence of being in business because I can get to control everything. This business is a very, very tough business, but very rewarding in the sense that you go down and you get to pick up the fish, you get to meet people, deal with people who are involved with the industry. from the bottom to the top, and you establish these relationships with these people that are able to acquire the best fish possible for you. And then what I do is I pick up the fish, bring it back here.
You pick up the fish yourself?
Yes, I do.
Go into the fish market and pick it up yourself?
I go in myself every day, and I get the freshest possible fish. The important thing is not where the fish comes from. The important thing is it fresh when it comes in? I get my fish from Canada, Maine, New Hampshire, New Bedford, Gloucester, Boston. So wherever the fish is fresh, that's where I get my fish from. I don't have one wholesaler that I buy from. I have agents that actually procure the fish for me. And then I go down and get the fish as long as it's fresh. So it's rather an interesting business in the sense that every day is a new day. You have to keep track of how many boats are coming in, where they're coming in from. It's not a business that you could just sit back and make a phone call and ask, I want 100 pounds of this, 1,000 pounds of this, and trust someone to get it for you. You really have to be on top of everything every day.
That's great. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. As I sit here or stand here and look at this wall, I'm attracted by some of the photographs and some of the people that are customers and have raved about your products. What can you tell me about this?
Well, this right here, this is Sebastian Younger. He's the author of The Perfect Storm. His family has been buying fish from me ever since I was a kid, so I've known them for a long time. He came in for his father's 80th birthday, and we did this photo array. And Sebastian is a very, very nice guy, and it turns out that a lot of the people in The Perfect Storm I had actually known personally, so we chatted about that. And down here is Mike Barnacle. He comes in. He's a good customer. And we did another photo array with him. And he's quite a guy. Very, very nice guy. Very comical.
What about this one up here?
And this is Clark Fitzgerald, who has passed on. He was a very famous sculptor in Castine, Maine. And he had drawn that for me, and I really cherish that.
Frank, you've been in Belmont for a long time. Why do you stay in Belmont?
I love Belmont. I grew up in Belmont, and so I feel that it is my home. And for the most part, my customers really treat me like part of a family. Not like I'm, like they're just coming in to buy fish. I know so much about, customers' families, their children, their lives, everything. So you become a part of the fabric of the community. So it's very, very rewarding that way, that customers are really happy to see you, and they actually feel a comfort level that you're here. Like I say, it's like being a member of their family. So that's a great feeling.
Frankie, this is wonderful. One of the thoughts I'm also left with is, what do you find most rewarding about this business?
Well, after a long day of work, I think back and I think about the most rewarding thing to me. What makes me the happiest is that children like my fish. When customers say, "Oh, I took my son to another restaurant," and the child they would serve the child fish, and the child would say, "This isn't Frankie's," or "I want to go to Frankie's." There's nothing greater than that feeling, to hear that. So that really makes my day.
Great. Well, Frankie, that's wonderful. Thank you very much for letting us come in and learning a little bit more about your business, and to the viewers in Belmont and elsewhere. We strongly encourage you to stop by, visit Frankie's, pick up some fish, either fresh fish or cooked fish. And I think I'm going to steal one sample just before I leave, if that's okay.
All right.
All right. Is that you don't mind? I think I'll try the shrimp. You don't think I was going to take anything inexpensively? Thanks a lot, Frank.